Welcome back to Rocket Gyan, my fellow space tubers. Good morning, Rocket Gyan, hoping for a liftoff. Me too, Luis Carter. Let's hope that today we finally see something go into the sky um, from the Antares rocket as well as the GPS-3 mission. So today we have missions and the launch is back to back. Okay, this mission is over. We have another mission lined up, and that's to back. Once I end this stream, I'll be on the another stream of the SpaceX GPS-3 mission. So once this stream is over at around now 1 hour from now or 43 minutes around like and then I'll be again streaming the SpaceX GPS-3 mission, so do join me for that. So today we are witnessing one launch which is done by Northrop Grumman. So what Northrop Grumman is, uh, if you don't know guys, let me just tell you that they are a pioneer in the defense aerospace and the things are like that. Basically they have supported US from so much time now that everything space related, aerospace related, defense related and security related is done by Northrop Grumman. So uh, just a sec. So guys, can you hear me properly and everything is cool? Is it cool? No problem with anything, right? I thought there was some problem, but okay. Okay, yeah. So now we can have a look at the rocket itself, the rocket which is carrying the payload to the International Space Station today. Okay, Luis Carter, thanks for the info. And here we are. The rocket is the Antares rocket, and it, what is an Antares rocket and why was it developed in first place? So why was it developed? It was developed to provide responsive and low cost access to the space, which means it is easier to manufacture. This rocket is easier to manufacture and is uh, low on the cost side because it cost around 80 to 85 million dollars for this rocket to be made and launched. The other traditional rockets cost around 100 to 200 or even 300 million dollars. So around, so for that, yeah, it is a pretty cheap rocket. It can actually put payloads up to 8 tons in low Earth orbit. So it is no joke. Also, it is a very useful thing. So these are the, so let's have the look at the specification now. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. So the payload fairing and payload height, it's okay. It's the diameter is around 4 meter, the height is 10 meters, and then the stage one is powered by two NPO Energo Mash RD-181 engines. These RD-181 engines are the Russian-made engines, and they have independent thrust vectoring. What is independent thrust vectoring? Independent thrust vectoring means both engines support independent gimbaling. What is gimbaling? It's just like it, the nozzle, yeah, developed by Northrop Grumman. And that's what about stage one. Now the stage two is an interesting one because it uses Castor 30XL solid rocket motor with the thrust vectoring control. So we don't have for the second stage any liquid fuel. We have a solid rocket booster with thrust vectoring control. Now we have the stage 3 optional version where we used to have these things, but for today we won't be having the stage 3. The configuration for today flight is 230. So two represent two RD-181 engines will be used. 3 means 30XL version of solid rocket motor will be used. The 30XL version is the most powerful and the most, you can say, which has the most ISP. That's the 30XL version, and the 0 means none. For the third stage, we don't have anything, and the plus is the enhanced version. Means there is some tweaks made into the first stage, which can perform a efficient one. So yeah, that's the thing about the rocket. Now we can have a look at the Cygnus spacecraft. Uh, Here we go. So if you don't know what Cygnus spacecraft is, here we have it is a means spacecraft which is developed by Northrop Grumman. It consists of a service module and a pressurized cargo module, just like HTV, which is launched from the Earth and then it goes to the International Space Station and is berthed, not docked, berthed by the robotic arm. The same thing will be done by this Cygnus spacecraft. As you can see, it is kind of a unique spacecraft, as in for the for the solar panels. The solar panels look kind of cool in on this spacecraft because we don't have the traditional one which deploys sideways. These are like rotating solar panels, and yeah, watching this deploy the solar panel deploys itself a very much fun, but I don't think so we will be able to witness the deployment of the solar panel for today's launch. But yeah, the thing is, it won't be docked, it will be birthed by the robotic arm. Okay. And it can take the crew supplies, spare equipments. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. Nothing fancy about it, but yeah, one thing is fancy. It can take around 3000 kg. The 3500 kg is the weight it can take up to the orbit, as well as to the international space station, as well as it can take waste away from the space station and then re-enter the atmosphere and burn up in the atmosphere. So it won't be recoverable. That's the thing. Here we have something. In 2013 it was first launched. In 2014 it conducted its first commercial cargo resupply mission to the station. 2015 it used enhanced version, which is a more capable version of the Cygnus spacecraft. In 2017 it act as an extension of the space station by supporting experiments inside the cargo module. So here we don't have to remove the experiments from the module. We can in this spacecraft we can just have it in sitting there, and the astronauts or the people can go there and conduct the experiment. And then finally, for the in future it will be supporting the Artemis mission by deploying the CubeSats for the lunar trajectory. So it's a kind of a cool thing. Okay, so yeah, oops. There we go. So guys, now we can have a look at the mission profile itself. Okay, so this mission is kind of a close to my heart because this mission is dedicated to Miss Kalpana Chawla. If you don't know what who Kalpana Chawla was, basically she was a victim of the Columbia disasters, the space shuttle Columbia disaster. And as this is the tradition to name each and every Cygnus mission to one person who has done really good contribution to for the NASA and for the space and for the country or world as a whole. So this is the one. Today they have dedicated it to Miss Kalpana Chawla, which was who was the first women of Indian descent go to the moon. So yeah, it was a very emotional moment when that thing happened. But this thing, dedication to Miss Kalpana Chawla is a very good thing. So here we have the launch profile. First of all, we have so this launch profile is a typical Kerbal space program launch profile. We have a stage 1 ignition, as you can see, a time at 0 second. Uh, then we have liftoff at 3.7 seconds. So our 3 seconds, the engines will come to the full power. Then the main engine cutoff will be happening at 83 kilometers and 3 minutes 18 seconds. Now see, uh, main main engine cutoff is at 3 minute 18 second and 83.9 kilometer, and then it will coast, as you can see, for and then the fourth uh, point will be the stage 1 separation, which will happen after some time, after 6 seconds. Then it will have fairing separation after somewhere around 20 seconds or so. It will have fairing separation, and then finally at 4 minutes 7 seconds and around orbital altitude of 118 kilometers, the stage 2 ignition will be there. So the main engine cutoff happened at 84 kilometers at 3 minutes 18 seconds, and the stage 2 ignition is at 118 kilometers 4 minutes 7 seconds. So it is there is a kind of a gap which will be there, but it's okay. Then finally we'll have a stage 2 burnout and orbital insertion, and then the payload separation. That's what we have, a typical payload profile. These are some facts about the Antares mission. Antares rocket, it weighs around which is which is equal to 253 compact cars. 9 minutes after liftoff, Antares reaches orbital altitude of 178 kilometers, and at payload separation, it is traveling at 27.1 uh, 27,150 kilometer per hour and 16,875 miles per hour. Then about the Cygnus spacecraft, it is about the size of the adult great white shark. It weighs around 3,700 kg. It can deliver the things it can deliver is around 3,700 kg of cargo, which is the weight of two mid-sized truck, and it can remain up to 90 days. So why 90 days? 90 days is a pretty good time, I am telling you. And why is it able to accomplish? Because of the configuration of the propulsion it uses hypergolic fuels for its propulsion. And because of that, since hypergolic fuels does not require much maintenance, it can stay up to longer without corroding the parts. And that's why till 90 days it can have berth to the space station and perform its mission. And then finally it can remove 3,700 kg of waste from the International Space Station and burn up in the atmosphere. That's the thing. These are some images of the NG-14. This is the rocket. Yeah, this is how the spacecraft look like. Integration of the spacecraft, the payload happening. Yeah, that's the thing. That's pretty much it. So Janvi, hi Janvi, I hope no scrub. I also hope no scrub happens today, because I am also waiting and hoping to see this beauty fly and deliver the spacecraft to the International Space Station. So hi Ken, Deford, hey Luis, Rocket Gyan, Janvi, Space Reddish. Yeah, Space Reddish. From Space Reddish, I got to know one thing. Let me just tell you. Before that, let me see. Yeah, we have the coverage, so I will switch over to that.
With a full moon shining brightly overhead, you're looking live at Launch Pad 0A at the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport on Wallops Island, Virginia, where Northrop Grumman's Antares rocket stands fully fueled, 133 feet tall, ready to launch 31 minutes from now to send the unpiloted Cygnus cargo craft into orbit on a 3-day journey to deliver some 4 tons of supplies and scientific experiments to the International Space Station. Following a last-minute scrub of last night's initial launch attempt, tonight's liftoff is set for 8:16 and 14 seconds p.m. Central Time, 9:16 and 14 seconds p.m. Eastern Time, at the start of a 5-minute launch window. The weather for tonight's launch just couldn't be better. It is absolutely pristine at Wallops Island. Just a few clouds at 4,500 feet. Winds out of the northwest at 4 knots. Temperature of about 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Everything is green across the board. And there is the target for the Artemis program coming up for NASA, the moon, with sights set on that destination to land the first woman and the next man on the surface of the moon in 2024. Good evening from Mission Control in Houston and the International Space Station Flight Control Room here at the Johnson Space Center. Flight controllers here are watching over the station as they do 24/7, 365, tending to its systems and the 3 crew members comprising the Expedition 63 crew. We'll talk more about them in a moment. Back at the Wallops Flight Facility, Northrop Grumman engineers are monitoring the countdown at this hour from the Range Control Center. They will be in control of the 9-minute climb to orbit for the 2-stage Antares rocket from liftoff to the point when the Cygnus resupply craft separates from the vehicle's second stage. They just completed a poll of all of the engineering positions just a moment or two ago. Everyone is go for launch. In Dulles, Virginia, another team of Northrop Grumman engineers are on duty as well, ready to take over the flight of Cygnus after spacecraft separation under the direction of Mission Director Zach Dwyer. They'll be following all of Cygnus's maneuvers during its 3-day trek to the International Space Station.
Exactly. So, Luis
Back here in
Carter,
Mission
yes,
Control in Houston, the Orbit 3
there
team
are
of flight
4
controllers
rockets
is on
waiting
duty
if
with
we
the station
include
crew
this one.
members well into their sleep period for the night. As was the case last night, Flight Director T.J. Creamer is back in charge, presiding over the Orbit 3 team this evening. Cygnus's launch was originally scheduled for this past Tuesday night, but a forecast of inclement weather at Wallops for both Tuesday and Wednesday night pushed the initial launch attempt to last night. And with the weather finally cooperating last night, the countdown reached the 2-minute 40-second mark before the launch was scrubbed. We'll talk more about that in a moment. At the present time, we're sitting at T-minus 28 minutes and counting. There are no issues being worked by the launch control team at Wallops. As we mentioned last night, each launch of a Cygnus cargo craft carries with it a tradition for Northrop Grumman, the naming of the spacecraft after a noted space explorer who contributed to human space exploration. The Cygnus being launched tonight is named for NASA astronaut Kalpana Chawla, who twice flew into space, first on the STS-87 mission aboard the Space Shuttle Columbia in 1997, and then on the ill-fated STS-107 mission aboard Columbia in 2003, in which she and her 6 crewmates lost their lives during entry. Kalpana Chawla, the first NASA astronaut of Indian and South Asian descent, being honored on this mission of Cygnus to the International Space Station.
Exactly. So, hi Labrat. So, is our money on a launch today? Yes, you can say that. Hopefully, we will be seeing the launch today. I don't think so. There will be a
The
problem.
Antares rocket being launched tonight is a 2-stage rocket that will propel the Cygnus
Let's hope
cargo
everything
craft to
goes
its preliminary
correctly.
orbit to begin the chase to reach the International Space Station in the wee hours Monday morning. But before we look ahead, let's look back 24 hours to last night's postponement. And with us this evening by phone to discuss all of these developments, returning tonight with us, is Christina Halona, the Northrop Grumman Antares System Engineering Program Manager. Christina, thanks for joining us once again this evening.
Thank you, Rob. I'm excited to be back with you and our NASA TV viewers to see a successful Antares launch and Cygnus mission to the International Space Station.
Everything's looking great tonight, but before we get into all of that, walk us through last night's scrub. What was the cause? How did Northrop Grumman remedy the issue that brought us to this evening's launch attempt?
No problem, Rob. So last night during the countdown, the computer auto-aborted at approximately T-minus 2 minutes and 49 seconds when it received an off-nominal reading from the ground support equipment. The team tracked the automated abort to a software issue, and it was resolved. Nonetheless, launch scrubs for ground systems issues do sometimes occur as we place mission success and the safety of our team and the public above all other considerations. As can be seen from the numerous scrubs the launch we've had this past week, including Delta IV and Falcon 9 due to weather and ground system faults, each and every countdown will not always result in a launch attempt, which is just simply part of the launch business. Our Northrop Grumman team is trained to respond professionally to scrub launch attempts in order to maintain Antares and Cygnus in a safe condition. We always quickly investigate the root cause if there's any issues and maintain readiness to launch as early as the next day. I just want to say what a great teamwork it was by the launch team last night and this morning to quickly respond to the scrub launch attempt and put us back in position to launch again less than 24 hours later. We are a go for tonight, so we're excited.
Yay.
Christina, this Antares rocket has become a workhorse for Northrop Grumman in contributing to that supply chain for the International Space Station. How robust is this vehicle? How important is tonight's launch as we head into a busy period aboard the International Outpost?
So, Rob, NG-14 was designated as a mission essential mission by NASA during the COVID-19 pandemic, and our team has been focused on being ready on time despite the additional restrictions and mitigations put in place to keep our workforce safe. The Antares launch system and the Virginia Space Launch Pad we both use are designated to be very robust, which has allowed us to achieve 7 consecutive successful Antares 230 and 230 plus flights that enabled successful Cygnus missions to the ISS. Antares is our 230 plus workforce, and we are carrying Cygnus loaded with nearly 8,000 pounds of cargo tonight. Northrop Grumman is very proud of our contributions in supplying critical research and cargo to the crew on the space station. And for me personally, as a Native American from the Navajo Nation, I am truly honored to be part of our human exploration program, and I hope to inspire others to reach for the stars when setting their goals.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Christina. Christina Halona of Northrop Grumman with us this evening by phone. The countdown for Cygnus's launch now stands at T-minus 23 minutes, 14 seconds, and counting. At the time of launch at 8:16 and 14 seconds p.m. Central Time, 9:16:14 p.m. Eastern, the International Space Station and its 3 residents will be flying 258 statute miles over the southern Indian Ocean. Antares and Cygnus will arc out to the southeast from Wallops to start the rendezvous and a series of pre-programmed engine firings that will lead to its arrival at the International Space Station and its robotic capture Monday morning. Station Commander Chris Cassidy of NASA, backed up by Russian cosmonaut Ivan Wagner from Roscosmos, will be in the cupola at the robotic workstation monitoring Cygnus' systems during its final approach, with Cassidy using the Canadarm2 robotic arm to reach out and grapple the Northrop Grumman resupply vehicle. At that point, he will turn the robotic chores over to a team of ground controllers here in Houston who will maneuver Cygnus into an installation position to be installed and bolted into place on the Earth-facing side of the Unity module of the International Space Station for a stay of about 2 months. The Cygnus is scheduled to depart the station in mid-December for a 2-week free flight in which additional scientific experiments will be conducted.
Copy not required.
On board the International Space Station, Cassidy, Wagner, and Russian cosmonaut Anatoly Ivanishin are asleep at this hour, less than 3 weeks away from the end of their 6.5-month mission on the orbital outpost. They are scheduled to return to Earth on the evening of October 21st U.S. time, which will be the morning of October 22nd on the steppe of Kazakhstan, for a parachute-assisted landing in their Soyuz MS-16 spacecraft. That will come 8 days after the arrival of the next trio of residents to the International Space Station, NASA astronaut Kate Rubins, Sergei Ryzhikov, and Sergei Kud-Sverchkov of Roscosmos, who are in final training right now at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan for their launch on October 14th in the Soyuz MS-17 spacecraft. Inside 21 minutes until launch, everything continues to proceed on track and on time for a liftoff at 8:16 and 14 seconds p.m. Eastern Time.
We'll check 379.
The ascent profile for Antares and Cygnus following liftoff calls for main engine cutoff on the first stage of the Antares rocket about 3 minutes and 18 seconds after launch, followed 6 seconds later by the separation of the first stage. Some 30 seconds later, the fairing, which encapsulates the Cygnus resupply vehicle, will also separate, exposing Cygnus during the uphill ride to its preliminary orbit. Stage 2 ignition on the Antares rocket is scheduled at about the 4-minute, 7-second mark into the flight. It will burn for 2 minutes and 44 seconds until Stage 2 burnout occurs, putting Cygnus into its initial orbit, with the Cygnus vehicle itself separating from the second stage of Antares at about the 9-minute, 9-second mark into the flight. The Ultraflex solar arrays on Cygnus are scheduled to be deployed about 2 hours and 8 minutes into the mission. We will not be on the air live during that activity. It's about a 30-minute procedure. We will, however, provide updates on the web on nasa.gov and the station blog site when solar array deploy is completed later this evening.
So guys,
if everything goes as planned, Cygnus again will arrive in the wee hours Monday morning at the International Space Station, arriving along the intersection called the R-bar, the radial vector, which is an imaginary line drawn between the International Space Station and the Earth. The Cygnus will arrive about 400 feet directly below the station and inchworm its way up to the point where Cassidy will use the robotic arm to reach out and grapple the resupply craft. The capture of Cygnus is scheduled right now at 4:20 a.m. Central Time, 5:20 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday morning.
So guys, I was mentioning about the payload which is taking. So it is taking kind of interesting things to the International Space Station.
Yeah, just be advised, step 386 will be required for today's op.
Copy that.
So it will be taking the space radish, which means a radish which will be grown in space. It is taking that. It is taking a new toilet with it.
10 of 10, 381.
It is taking a 360 virtual camera with it, and it is also taking one cancer research which can ultimately lead to a medicine which can cure cancer. So the payloads and the science experiments which it is taking are also pretty interesting. And hi Juan Salinas.
As we approach the 17-minute mark into the countdown,
Full of radishes.
loading is complete.
Yes,
you see the venting at the interstage area of the two-stage Antares rocket. Everything continues to be green across the board at Wallops. The weather is perfect. Everything all set for Antares to begin its flight to deliver the Cygnus resupply vehicle to its preliminary orbit.
Which will be around 400 kilometers. And yeah, what I was talking about, I forgot. No worries. Whenever I'll remember, I'll tell you.
Countdown 1.
So right now, guys, the venting, as you can see, has started happening.
Go ahead, Core 1.
Fuel level adjustment is not required.
Copy, not required. We'll go ahead and check 382. And prop 2, step 383, configure OCCS for no adjustment to fuel level.
Okay, and weather is looking 90% favorable today, so that's a very, very good thing for the weather. But I'm really happy that they have resolved the issue, and right now we are seeing this beauty fly, hopefully.
Yeah, you go for step 385. You can transfer Cygnus to launch mode.
LC, prop 2. LC, this is prop 2 on countdown 1. OCCS configured for no adjustment to fuel level.
At T-minus 16 minutes and counting, those calls from the Range Control Center engineers for Northrop Grumman indicate that the fuel loading for the Antares rocket is at the proper level, into stable replenish now. No adjustment for fuel required this evening, and Cygnus is about to go on internal power. Tonight's launch kicks off a very busy period of activity at the International Space Station. Again, a launch tonight results in Cygnus arriving at the station in the wee hours Monday morning. That will be followed in a couple of weeks by a Soyuz crew rotation, as we mentioned, with Kate Rubins of NASA and her 2 Russian crewmates scheduled to launch October 14th from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan for a 2-orbit rendezvous, a 3-hour fast-track journey to the International Space Station that will kick off an 8-day handover with Chris Cassidy and his 2 Russian crewmates, Anatoly Ivanishin and Ivan Wagner, who we said a moment ago are in the home stretch of their 6.5-month mission on the station. They'll be returning to Earth on the night of October 21st, U.S. time. And right on the heels of that, on October 31st, on the 20th.
Just passed through T-minus 15 minutes. We'll be coming up on our polling for our final count, proceeding with our final countdown in just about 2 minutes.
On the 20th anniversary of the launch of Expedition 1, Bill Shepard, Yuri Gudzenko, and Sergei Krikalev. On October 31st, the Crew 1 mission is scheduled to launch aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. The Resilience Crew Dragon spacecraft with Mike Hopkins, Victor Glover, Shannon Walker, and Soichi Noguchi on board, scheduled to arrive at the International Space Station on November 1st.
And we are hoping to see that launch also. Yeah.
T-minus 14 minutes and counting.
We are around T-minus 14 minutes.
Wait for your call on 387.
And everything is looking go for launch right now, and we can see this thing fly tonight, hopefully. And I can bet my money on it. I should say that it should fly now because
this is CMD. Cygnus is in launch mode and nominal.
Okay.
Copy that. CMD. We'll
Nominal.
check 387 complete.
The venting you are seeing, guys, is completely nominal. No problem with
Here
that.
in the International Space Station Flight Control Room, a final go has been passed on to Flight Director T.J. Creamer by the Cygnus Mission Director in Dulles. Both Antares and Cygnus are go for launch.
Yes, we are go for launch. And we can hopefully see this beauty fly. This thing when...
At this hour, the International Space Station flying 258 miles over the South Atlantic, about to swing just to the south of the continent of Africa. Again, at the time of launch, at 8:16 and 14 seconds p.m. Central Time, the station and its 3 residents who are asleep at this hour will be flying over the southern Indian Ocean.
Countdown 1, step 388. At this time, I want to poll to proceed with final countdown. GSO?
GSO, go.
RSO?
RSO's go.
TD?
TD is go.
Prop lead?
Prop lead is go.
Stage 1?
Stage 1 is go.
MES1?
MES1 is go.
GCE?
GCE is go.
ACE?
ACE is go.
Mars?
Mars is go.
CMD?
CMD is go.
LD?
LD is go.
NG?
In honor of Kalpana Chawla, whose research on astronaut health and safety during spaceflight helped pave the way for humans to live and work in space, Northrop Grumman is go.
Copy that, Northrop Grumman. We are go to proceed with final countdown. Check step 388. Ops 2, LC, be advised, step 389 is not required for today's operation. Step 390 will not be required for today's operation.
And Ops 2 copies.
Coming up on the T-minus 11-minute mark, that final poll for launch conducted at the Range Control Center at the Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia, as Antares is set to begin its journey of about 9 minutes in duration to deliver the Cygnus resupply craft to its preliminary orbit.
Hi, Brian, but I don't think so. The range is ready.
T-minus 11 minutes.
We are go for launch. The range is not red because the last time it was red and we had a hold at T-minus 11 minutes. But today we haven't seen that. So we are go for launch, as you heard from the range control center also. Okay, no problem. I just want this mission to go and be successful because the next mission coming up is
Coming up on the T-minus 10-minute mark, fuel loading complete. The weather is perfect. Everything is all set to begin the journey of Cygnus to the International Space Station.
Exactly. So right after this, guys, we will be having the SpaceX launch. So just come up when this streams ends. We'll go to the just search on my channel only. You'll find the another stream. Go there, wait there, and I'll be there
T-minus 10 minutes.
just after this. So we are T-minus 10 minutes from the launch, guys. Everything is looking go for launch. Everything is cool, and hopefully we can see this beauty fly today. I'm excited for this to fly because seeing the weather and seeing the conditions right now means it's night time, right?
No issues being worked in the Range Control Center at Wallops Island, Virginia, or at Dulles, Virginia, where the Cygnus spacecraft team for Northrop Grumman monitoring Cygnus' systems ready to take over at the time of spacecraft separation just over 9 minutes after launch.
Yeah, I was saying it's a night time, and the launches at the night time are always a delight to watch.
391. Enable ACS VDMs.
As you can see the you can hearing the countdown and the checklist. They are around
ACS VDMs enabled, voltage nominal, and commands cleared.
The step number 392. So you can think how many checks they perform before a launch. That's huge. (392) check. 393 they
Once
will be now.
Cygnus arrives at the International Space Station in the wee hours Monday morning and is grappled and then installed and bolted into place, a series of leak checks at the berthing interface between Cygnus and the Unity module will be conducted by NASA astronaut and station commander Chris Cassidy, making sure that we have a tight seal between the Cygnus and the station before he begins the process of opening the hatch to Cygnus and the start of the unloading of the most time-critical experiments and supplies that are being brought up on the Cygnus resupply vehicle.
So guys, if you want to support me for what I do, you can always support me on Patreon. But if you can't do that, just come here, listen to me, and give this stream a like and subscribe maybe. And yeah, that will mean a lot to me. So if you haven't liked till now, please consider liking the stream. It helps the channel a lot because you know the YouTube algorithm, right? So that's the thing. And guys, for new people on this channel, we cover each and every launch that happens in the space industry. So if you are on this channel and if you are fond of rocket launches, then you will find everything at one place. Not only launches, but we have space related videos also. And yeah, that's the thing. So guys, we are 6 minutes 40 seconds before the liftoff to occur, and
altitude, you go to initialize ground ordnance power supplies.
LC altitude, ground ordnance power supplies initialized.
Ground ordnance power supplies nominal.
Everything is nominal.
CSO activation verified.
Copy all their prop lead ops 2 elect 1, check 395, 396, and 397.
What lab rat? What am I doing? SpaceX launch. Yes, I am doing that. Actually, there was
T-minus 6 minutes and counting. Northrop Grumman preparing to provide Friday night lights down the eastern seaboard.
Wow.
Everything is go for launch.
Yes, elaborate. I'll be doing the SpaceX launch also, and
site control. Check step 398.
there are two more launches scheduled, for the SpaceX GPS-3 mission and the Starlink 12. But I think the Starlink 12 mission has been rescheduled for today. that won't be happening, but obviously the SpaceX mission is scheduled and I'll be streaming that. So hi Tau Tempe Gamer, no you aren't late, you haven't missed the launch, so welcome to the stream. And Brian says hold your breath at T minus 240. Yes,
Coming up on the T minus 5 minute
let's
mark.
just see everything is going cool at that time, because the last time at that time only the mission was aborted. So let's just hope everything is looking cool now, because at around 3 T minus
Ops 1, transfer avionics to internal power.
yeah, T minus 3 minutes 30 seconds, the avionics and the flight computer takes over the countdown. It's just like the startup that happens during a Falcon 9 launch.
LC Ops 1, external power off.
Internal power is nominal.
Roger, Elec 1, Ops 1, open STS umbi loop.
LC Ops 1, FTS umbi loop open and green.
LC Elect 2, FTLU and FTS receiver indications are nominal.
Copy, Elec 2. Ops 1, you go to send, all arm command.
LC Ops 1, all arm command sent.
SNAs, ODMs, all arm.
NASA TD, report range status.
LC TD, range is green.
Range is green.
T minus 4 minutes and counting. Everything in order. No issues being worked at the Range Control Center at Wallops.
So that's a good thing, and we are around T minus 3 minutes and 40 seconds now. The next event coming up is the handing over to the internal power and internal computers at T minus 3 minutes 30 seconds. And that is now.
And launch team be advised, phase 3 dynamic limits will be active at T minus 3 minutes.
Let's hope nothing goes wrong for today's launch, guys. It is finally happening now. T minus 2 minutes 40 marks is coming.
T minus 3 minutes and counting.
Auto sequence start. ODM bus voltages and currents nominal.
Copy, all Elec 1. GNC 1, verify ready for nav mode.
LC, GNC 1, orb nav ready for nav mode.
Roger that. Ops 2, step 414, switch to nav.
Okay, we have passed that thing.
Switch to nav.
We didn't see any problem with that.
Check 414.
LC, GNC 1, orb nav telemetry verified.
Roger that, GNC 1.
Yes, it is happening finally. This bird will fly now. Just 2 minutes from the launch, guys. Just 2 minutes left.
Coming up on the T minus 2 minute mark. Antares systems in excellent shape. No issues.
That's a good thing.
T minus 2 minutes on my mark.
Wow. Yes, let's see. Can we see this thing fly now?
"90 seconds until launch."
90 seconds, guys.
Minus 1 minute, 30 seconds.
This is happening now. 1 minute 30 seconds. T minus 1 minute, guys.
T minus 1 minute.
Finally, it is happening. Can we see this bird fly?
Well into the terminal count. T minus 50 seconds and counting.
Let's hope that we are able to see this beauty fly, man. This is so cool now. T minus 30 seconds.
T-minus 30 seconds. Mark.
Twenty, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12,
T-minus
11,
15 seconds.
10, 9, 8, 7,
T-minus 10.
6, okay.
5,
4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
We have engine ignition.
Engine start and liftoff.
We
The
can
SS Kalpana
finally
Chawla takes flight, sights set on the
can
International
see
Space
this
Station.
thing fly now, guys. This is so cool. Wow. This is so cool.
Programmer in.
Vehicle systems are nominal. Engines at 100%.
Engines at 100% and everything is looking so good. Finally, no scrub for today. We saw this flying. Yes.
Attitude nominal. Vehicle subsystems nominal.
Let's hope we have an onboard camera view and we can see this thing fly now.
Nominal. 100%.
Wow. This is a different camera view right here.
Altitude 20,000 feet.
1 minute into the flight, everything looking good on Antares.
Sure, sir. Everything is looking good. Finally, at 3 minutes 20-second mark, the main engine cutoff will occur, and at that time we will be
Passing through max Q.
So,
attitude nominal. Engines at 100.
Antares passing through the area of maximum dynamic pressure.
That's the area when the vehicle experiences the maximum pressure during the flight. And I think it has passed the max Q also successfully, and that's the most critical part of the ascent. And if the rocket passes through that, hopefully everything is
All
good.
vehicle subsystems are nominal.
All things are nominal, as heard from them.
Coming up on the 2-minute mark into the flight, everything looking good.
Everything is good, guys. I'm so happy this thing actually
Just passing 100,000
flown
feet.
now.
Attitude nominal. Vehicle subsystems nominal.
Everything is looking nominal, and see the plume. See the beautiful plume coming out of the rocket. Wow. Actually, wow. See this thing. Bluish flame, and then white, yellow, and then orange.
Engines remain at 100%. Attitude nominal. Vehicle subsystems nominal.
Good reports from the Range Control Center at Wallops.
30 seconds to throttle down.
Throttle down is the precursor to main engine cutoff for the first stage.
Wow, can't we see the onboard camera view, please? Do we have it or not? I don't think so. We are having that. But
coming up on the 3-minute mark into the flight.
At 3 minutes 28 seconds, the main engine cutoff is scheduled, guys. So let's see that happen.
Engines at 55% thrust.
Standing by for main engine cutoff on the first stage.
And here we go for the main engine cutoff. And then finally this thing, you can see here the animation also, it has separated.
Stage 1 separation. Attitude nominal.
Stage 1 separation confirmed from the Range Control Center. Antares flying straight and true.
Antares in coast phase until proper conditions for fairing separation and stage 2 ignition are achieved.
So blue thing which you are seeing right now are the RCS thrusters, maybe it is thrusters only guiding the. Here we go. Wow.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And the interstage.
Cygnus now exposed to the atmosphere as it continues its trek uphill to its preliminary orbit.
And here we go.
Stage 2 ignition.
Stage 2 ignition confirmed.
This will be about a 2-minute 44-second burn of the second stage engine.
This is as you all know, is a solid rocket booster. And right now the apogee is increasing. That's what we want. perigee is decreasing, that's what we want. And velocity, see the velocity guys, and the altitude, everything is good right now. But what the hell?
Attitude nominal, vehicle subsystems nominal, 140
Okay,
kilometers.
yeah, okay, no problem. It's okay, it's okay.
Coming up on the 5-minute mark into the flight.
As you can see from the trajectory also, it is following what was intended, and yeah, everything is looking good.
Continue nominal. Altitude 150 kilometers.
Yes, actually the launches which happens from the NASA Wallops facility, they don't think about the cameras and all, because those people are kind of a nerdy and geeky, because they work on very complex stuff. That's why they don't uh, care much about the PR campaign. That's why this thing happens.
All systems nominal.
All systems
The
are
second
nominal.
stage burnout is scheduled at about the 6-minute 51-second mark into the flight.
Altitude 170 kilometers, roughly 1 minute to stage 2 burnout.
Hi, Tau Tempe Gamer, can you make a game series like maybe Kerbal Space Program? Yes, I do have one. Basically, I stopped uploading in it. I already have 3 series explaining the Kerbal Space Program only for the beginners, but I didn't continue. Maybe I'll continue it. I'm planning to do one
altitude
thing there. If you have played the Kerbal Space Program,
30 seconds to stage 2 burnout.
Then you know that there is one planet Eve, and I did my first Eve, you can say, journey there, and I recorded it, but I didn't get time to edit it. But let's see if I get time, I'll surely do that.
6 minutes 40 seconds into the flight, standing by for stage 2 burnout.
Just see the perigee guys, it will come out of the atmosphere. Right now it is -200, it will become 0, and then
stage 2 tail off,
and finally it is. Here we go, and
stage 2 burnout.
Burnout occurred with the successful orbiter insertion, I should say.
And Cygnus has reached the preliminary orbital insertion.
Antares will coast for roughly 100 seconds prior to payload separation.
So Brian says I actually saw it.
And as you heard, the next major event will be Cygnus's separation from the second stage.
Walked outside a minute after the launch. I'm 170. Oh, so lucky. You are so lucky, actually.
Cygnus has begun its journey to reach the International Space Station early Monday morning.
Louis Carter, if you want, I'll surely be able to stream this thing, docking. But docking streams are very, you can say, the time consuming and boring, but I'll surely see if I can do that.
191 kilometers. Roughly 1 minute to payload separation.
Liftoff occurred right on the dime at 8:16 and 14 seconds p.m. Central Time, 9:16:14 p.m. Eastern Time. The International Space Station and its 3 crew members who are asleep at this hour approaching the southwest coast of Australia.
Altitude remains 192 kilometers, roughly 30 seconds to payload separation. All systems nominal.
Everything is nominal, guys.
At the time of Cygnus's separation from the second stage, the operations will move to Dulles, Virginia, and the Cygnus flight control room under the direction of Mission Director Zach Dwyer.
Right now, just we are waiting for this to separate, and once it is separated, the mission is successful, and we will be finally. Okay, something happened. Here we go. The payload has separated successfully.
Spacecraft separation confirmed. The SS Kalpana Chawla well on its way to the International Space Station.
CCAM initiated. Attitude nominal. LC, ace out.
Finally, after so long.
Great job calling it out, and great job to the Northrop Grumman and NASA Wallops and everybody else Mars on getting this mission off in difficult times. Okay, launch team, we're going to go ahead and proceed now with our post-launch checklist. And prop lead, I assume 425 is already started.
So guys, as you just saw, everything went nominal. First of all, we were anticipating that obviously this thing should, oh wow.
And prop lead LC countdown 1.
Wow.
Yeah, we've already began our warm helium and
The
cold
animation
helium
glitched there,
dispersion.
no worries.
Okay, copy that. We'll check
Yeah, so we saw a successful liftoff from the Wallops facility, and we saw this beauty fly finally, and there was no scrub for today. So that's why we finally saw at least one rocket launch today, and now on to the next one, guys. Let's just go and move to the SpaceX live stream. I'm just going over to that. So
Mars, NASA, and the Antares launch team.
now I should end this stream and meet you there.
Carry on.
So you can go and wait there for me to come. So guys, I should say stay safe, stay healthy, and bye-bye, and thanks for joining in. Love you all.
This is Mission Control Houston. Cygnus now safely in orbit en route to the International.